Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to do a green Goblin Chironomid. We got a hook in the vise, size 14, and we got a 2mm white tungsten bead on. You can have a glass bead or a brass bead, whatever you like. First material, UTC 70, watery olive. Start that about halfway down. And we're going to tie in our wire. And this is some beauty copper wire that we got from a little transistor, some type of a model train or car or something. And it's really nice, fine copper wire, and it's really strong. Just catch that along the side. Straight down, and once we get to about the barb on the hook, we're going to just lift that wire and go 3 wraps behind and 1 in front. Then we're going to attach our Acrylex Fish Flash. Love this stuff. This color is black hollow sheen. I'm just going to back off that last wrap and then just catch a couple of millimeters underneath. And there we go. And then we can just move forward and start to build a little taper now. And every time I change direction, I like to spin the thread a little bit counterclockwise. And that just flattens out that thread and you get a really nice smooth transition. Especially once you change directions. It's always good to flatten, spin, flatten, and change. There we go. That's a pretty good start there. So now we'll just whip finish that off and change colors. The next color is olive green. This one's a little beat up, but UTC 70 in an olive green. And we're just going to continue building that taper. And we're going to transition the colors here, and we want it to bleed. So we're going to make sure that thread is nice and flat, and you can actually see the lighter thread through it. As that, you can see that. It looks pretty good. And then we can always just go flatten again and make sure that we get a nice blend. We don't want it to be a really harsh change. We want it to be a nice gradual color shift. Now you'll notice I'm leaving a little bit of space behind the bead. We have, 2 different ribbing material to tie off behind that bead and wing buds. So it's good to leave a little bit of room, and then you don't have too much bulk when you get down to the end of the fly. Okay, so now we're just going to secure that with a couple of wraps. And we're going to tie in our wing buds now. So we're just going to hang about a bead width back from the bead. And we do have some fly angler goose biots today. So we're going to get a couple of those. You can take the strip and just kind of open them up a little bit until you see a couple of biots there, and then grab those last 2. And just tear them off. Now you want to keep these with the concave side facing you. I'm going to trim off the heavy stuff at the back. We don't need that. And we're just going to turn them around, keeping that concave side toward us. And we're going to put the tips together like that. And we're going to secure these underneath, right along the hook shank, with the tips sorted together. And we're just going to put a couple of loose wraps around them there and then position them There we go. And you want them right straight down the hook shank, level with the eye. Now we want to go back about a bead width and a half, no more than 2 bead widths for sure. Right there we can make a little bullet head and tie that off. We're going to use the rotary feature now to put on our ribs, but before we do that, we're going to put a little bit of ink on the red butt. These are alcohol-based pens, and this one's actually called Blood Red, believe it or not. So we're going to put some of that just on the very butt, and that will bleed once we put our glue on there. Okay, so let's move our wing buds out of the way. We'll utilize our little cradle here, and we'll move these wing buds out of the way. Give them a little squeeze. There we go. And now we're going to utilize our hackle pliers to get a hold of our fine copper wire. I'm going to just move that Krelex out of the way because I want to be on the other side of it. There we go. And so we're going to start our wraps and our segments coming forward. That's it. Good. That one's a little bit too wide. There we go. If they open up a little bit as you go up, that's just fine. It gives that illusion that actually it's tapered even more. So there we go. We got a nice transition past our wing buds there. That looks great. Looks like we got seven segments. 7.5, part of 8 is great. There we go. And then we'll just secure that wire. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a little helicopter to get rid of that. There we go. Let's whip finish that. You can see why it was handy to keep a little space behind that bead now as it's starting to fill up. Back to the cradle, and we'll get our hackle pliers again. And this is the Krelex, which is going to be our highlight. And that's going to be on the front side of the copper wire, or the side that's closest to the eye of the hook as we make our way up. We're just going to push those a little bit forward again. There we go. And then we'll go past where the attachment area, where the wing buds are, and then we'll come forward, and then we can just move them back a little bit. And that'll get us right in behind the bead. Move our cradle out of the way. Catch that wire there, give it 2 on the top, a couple in the front, and then trim the Krelex. And then we'll just flatten out any little tags that we have there. Great, there you go. And we can see how those wing bud material, they're consistent on each side and symmetrical. We're going to grab the inside one, we're going to lay it in position, catch it with our thread that's right up against the bead. Grab it from this side, back it off, and then catch both sides so they're both with one wrap. And that looks pretty good. I think this is going to come down a little bit this side. Here we go. So they should look pretty consistent. Oh, just lost that one. That's okay. We'll just go back and reattach. Want this up a bit and on this side. I think we're pretty close right there. So we're going to go 1, 2, nice firm. We're going to go peel these back and catch 1, 2, keeping tension. And then a 2 wrap whip finish, 1 and 2, and give that a nice snug. There we go. And we can remove that thread, and then we're going to employ our hackle pliers again to remove these wing buds. So we had a little tear technique. If you didn't see our last video, have a look at that. We're tearing inwards, and we're going to grab it and tearing inwards, and there you have that. Now we can put our favorite Loctite finish on this, and you'll see this bug really come alive. There goes the ink bleeding into the back end. So it's got a nice red bum. And there you have it, the green goblin. Give them a try. If you see green chironomids coming off, tie one of these on. It's been real productive for the spooled crew last season. Cheers.